a light, buddy?
Yeah, sure, kid.
And your wallet.
He's got a knife.
That's a knife.
Shit.
In the lively and energetic city of New York, we are introduced to Sue Charlton, a talented and accomplished journalist working for a major newspaper, Newsday. She is successful and enjoys an elegant lifestyle, while also being romantically involved with her boss, Richard Mason. Richard, however, is a man preoccupied with appearances and social standing. Although Sue's life seems ideal, she feels restless, yearning for something genuine and adventurous, an extraordinary story worth telling. Her opportunity comes when she learns of a man in Australia's Northern Territory who was attacked by a crocodile. With no interviews or photos to support the tale, Sue decides to chase the lead herself. The man's name is Michael J. Crocodile Dundee, and Sue believes the story could be the thrilling adventure she has been waiting for. She travels to Australia and is greeted by Walter "Wally" Riley, a jovial man who is Dundee's business partner. Wally takes her to Walkabout Creek, a tiny, dusty town consisting mainly of one building that functions as both a hotel and a pub. The place is hot, buzzing with flies, and filled with chatter about Dundee's exploits. Wally entertains her with stories that grow more dramatic each time he tells them. Eventually, Mick Dundee himself appears, suntanned, muscular, yet not the intimidating figure Sue imagined. Instead, he is friendly, laid back, and warm. He quickly wins her attention, even boldly asking her to dance. Legends of his crocodile injuries swirl around the room, but Mick downplays them with humor. That night, in high spirits, he buys drinks for everyone at the pub, while Sue observes him with growing curiosity. The next day, Sue hires Mick as her guide to the site of his crocodile encounter. Together, they drive through Kakadu National Park. Along the way, Sue asks about his life, his past relationships, and even his views on political issues, to which Mick replies with disarming simplicity. Matters like the arms race are none of his business. At one point, a huge water buffalo blocks their path. Sue panics, but Mick calmly soothes the beast with a few gestures, earning her admiration. Soon after, Wally departs, leaving Sue in Mick's care for their journey deeper into the outback. They reach the riverbank where Mick's boat had been left after the attack, and as night falls, they camp by a fire. They talk about their pasts. Sue reveals her brief marriage to a rebellious man, while Mick admits he once returned from a long absence to find his partner gone. Despite her fears of the wilderness at night, Sue feels reassured by his presence. Later, Sue is startled awake by gunshots. Mick quickly pulls her down and explains that men are out hunting kangaroos for sport. Sue is horrified, but Mick, though disapproving, explains there's no law against it. This heroic side of him deepens her attraction. The following day, Sue records notes about her trip, reflecting on the beauty and harshness of the land. Mick, meanwhile, defends the simplicity of his life in the wild, teasing her that a city girl like her wouldn't survive 5 minutes alone. To prove herself, Sue attempts to venture out independently. Mick secretly follows to ensure her safety, watching as she struggles to adapt. At one point, she mistakes a crocodile-infested river for a safe swimming spot and narrowly avoids disaster. Showing how unprepared she is for the wilderness. That evening, Sue admits she is not cut out for this environment, but Mick reassures her by comparing it to how overwhelming the city would be for him. They continue traveling, meeting Mick's Aboriginal friend Neville Bell. When Sue asks to join their sacred tribal gathering, Mick firmly refuses, calling it taboo. Though disappointed, Sue sneaks off to observe anyway. Their journey continues under the blazing sun. When Sue complains of hunger, Mick casually catches and roasts a crocodile, though Sue hesitates to eat it. During these days, Sue grows closer to Mick and eventually invites him to visit New York. When Mick arrives in the city, the culture clash is immediate and comedic. He is fascinated by everything, from modern toilets to crowded sidewalks, greeting strangers with the friendliness of a small-town man. Richard, feeling threatened, mocks Mick as a primitive outsider, but Sue admires his sincerity and lack of pretense. At dinners and social events, Mick is both charming and awkward, baffled by high society manners yet unfazed by them. One night, while wandering the city, Mick encounters prostitutes who are amused by his unusual behavior. Their pimp rudely intervenes, but Mick stands up to him with his natural toughness. On another evening, Sue takes Mick sightseeing, snapping photos of him around the city, even treating him to a hot dog. Mick continues to stand out for his honesty, even mistaking drugs at a party for cold medicine, offering humorous yet genuine advice to strangers.
You got a light, buddy?
Yeah, sure.
Give him your wallet.
What for? That's a knife.
Despite the fun, Richard's hostility grows. He treats Mick as a joke, while Sue increasingly sees the contrast between Richard's arrogance and Mick's authenticity. Finally, Richard proposes to Sue in front of others, putting her in an impossible situation. Mick, believing she will accept, decides to leave quietly rather than compete. When Sue realizes Mick plans to depart, she rushes to stop him. In a dramatic climax at the subway, she pushes through the crowd, calling out to him. Mick, hearing her confession that she loves him and will not marry Richard, beams with joy. With the help of strangers, he makes his way across the packed station by climbing over people's shoulders until he reaches Sue. The two embrace and kiss, sealing their love in front of the cheering crowd.